On today's episode of Amanda Morrow Bowling, I'll be reviewing my Lady Scratch League from Monday, February 3rd. I started the set with my Road Warrior. It's not the ball that I would typically throw on a fresh house shot, but I just got it drilled and I wanted to see how it reacts. As usual for this house shot, I was standing with the inside of my left foot on 20 and I was looking at about 10 right at the arrows. I did notice that lane 14 was hooking just a little more than 13. So I did end up moving my feet a board left on 14 and move my eyes about 2 feet past the arrows just to get it to break a little later. After making that adjustment, I was able to get a string of strikes going. I was loving the carry that this ball was giving me. The Road Warrior is a symmetrical pearl with an AI core. It's meant to give you length with an angular shape that stores enough energy to keep its hitting power. And also, it smells like peppermint patty, which I kind of like. I have noticed that I have a little bit of miss room right now, which is always the desired situation when bowling. I was able to miss a little right or a little left and it was still carrying. Having a few boards to hit always makes league night a little more enjoyable. On this next shot, I unfortunately leave my arch nemesis, the 810, and it is something I leave quite often when I miss inside or if I throw the ball too hard. I was able to finish that game with a 267, so I'll take it. Starting game 2, I'm still throwing the Road Warrior, and it's definitely starting to react a little more, especially when I accidentally miss right and get it out to the dry. I move my eyes down the lane on both lanes to get the ball to break just a little later, hoping that'll keep the ball from coming in too high. That adjustment did work to keep the ball from coming in too high, but then it did result in some light mixers not carrying and the 7-pin remaining on the deck. It's always funny to me when the good balls don't carry, but then a shot like that does what could have easily been the big 4. I leave a pretty weak 10-pin here, and I do convert the spare, but on my next shot, I leave the 8-10 again. And I didn't hate the shot off my hand, but apparently something was wrong. You don't just leave the 8-10 if something didn't happen. The most likely cause of me leaving this 8-10 is because I'm throwing a ball that already gives me length, and then I move my eyes down the lane to try and get it to break a little later, which is causing it to enter the roll phase too late. And then I miss outside on this shot, which results in the ball overhooking, and I leave the 6-10. At this point, I'm thinking to myself I should probably switch to my phase AI, but I go ahead and finish out this game with the Road Warrior. I miss outside again on this shot and it does go high, but I convert the spare and I finish the game with a 196. Starting game 3, I do switch to my phase AI. This ball gives me more of a smooth, archy shape compared to the long, angular shape that the Road Warrior was giving me. I do get way too fast with my feet on this next shot, and I pull the ball like crazy, but it results in a Brooklyn, and I will take that break all day. And then in this next shot, the ball doesn't quite drive enough into the pocket, and I almost leave a 5-pin, but luckily it didn't end up falling. I carry the 5-pin again here, but at least this one was a little better than the last shot. If you can believe it, on this next shot, I leave the 8-10 again. That is 3 8-10s with 2 different balls on the same lane. But after this, honestly, I was a little flustered. I'm trying to take deep breaths and not let the 8-10s get to me and cause me to throw bad shots, but it's so much easier said than done. I leave a 7-pin and I convert the spare, but the lack of carry is really starting to bring me down. I do a little celebration on this shot because I didn't leave the 8-10 on lane 14. I leave the 7-pin again on 13, and I unfortunately missed the spare. Missing single pins might be more aggravating to me than leaving the 8-10. But I still need to regroup, try to finish the game strong. I finished the third game with a 214, 677 series. It's not my best bowling, but it's acceptable. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time for another episode of Amanda Morrow Bowling.